Hey everybody, welcome back for war number 4 of season 29. We are kicking off week 2, matched up against MIBR, also known as Made in Brazil. As far as I know, I think we've matched them every season, at least as far as I can remember. I don't think we've lost to them yet, but we do know that they are a tight Masters Alliance. They play pretty cleanly in terms of not giving up too many deaths, and we definitely need to improve on our week 1 performances, and hopefully we can kind of just generate some momentum and keep building. And for this war, I have 7 fights here. We're starting off on pass 7, where we have 2 fights, an Ebony Maw and then a Nick Fury, who's always going to be stressful. We are taking on a Mole Man on node 23. Kicking off section 2, where we stay on pass 7 with an Apocalypse and a Darkhawk. Then we have 2 fights on Boss Island with a Hitmonkey and a Mysterio on the left side. So this is our attack team here. Archangel and Quake are going to be doing the heavy lifting, taking 3 fights each. I'm going to be quaking Mysterio on Boss Island. That's always pretty sketchy for me, just the extended health pool and the longer fight times. I find it's definitely hard for me to keep the rhythm and keep my focus up. And then Warlock is rounding out the team. He's going to take on Apocalypse, who is sitting on path 7 in section 2. And here we go. So as per usual, moving forward with Quake fights, I'll split up I'll split screen it and point out the map here. So we have 3 Quake fights kind of spread out throughout the map, 1 per section in section 1, section 2, and then Boss Island. And I've sped them up as well as per usual. So 2 of the Quake fights I was able to do on day 1 yesterday, and it turns out that I had to take the Mysterio this morning, which is always pretty sketchy for me, considering it definitely takes me some time to wake up, shake off kind of that morning rest, and I'm always slower reaction-wise. So I did pop an invuln boost for that. I wanted to be as safe as possible, knowing that it was going to be a longer fight compared to the regular section 1 and section 2 fights. You're going to see me make a mistake. I drop a heavy pushing him to 1 bar of power, and I end up getting tagged by a special 1. It doesn't kill me, and I'm able to kind of recover, so a little bit of a scare there. Definitely grateful that I used the invuln boost. Looks like it was a smart call. And apart from that crisis, that mid-fight crisis, I was able to seal off the fight, no worries. So we were able to take all the attack bonuses with our 3 Quake fights. Definitely a mishap against Mysterio, but just grateful that I was able to get through all 3 of them. So here's the first non-Quake fight on node 16. We got Vivified and Brute Force, a newer node combo for pass 7 here. This is a Nick Fury. A little bit of a flashback to War 2, where I absolutely blew up against this dude. But this time we are going to start off with Archangel. The plan for me here is to use an invulnerability boost, and I'm just going to try and push him to a special 3 and hopefully let the Neuros kind of tick him down before that 4th hit of the invulnerability comes into play. So you can see Vivified kind of helps us here, to be honest. It just makes it a lot easier to push him to the special 2 and then the special 3 if we need. So I'm immediately turtling up the moment after I release my heavy, just to kind of discourage him from throwing the special 1. And he throws a special 2, even though I'm blocking, and in my head I'm like, okay, that's totally fine. That's 1 less special 3 that I have to worry about. We're able to stick 2 Neuros. The repairs are definitely helping us apply multiple poisons. And the first phase of the fight is going extremely well. We're going to clear his regular form, or I guess his LMD, sorry. And I probably should have thrown the SP2 there, just to see if we could cheese a Neuro as he's trying to heal and kind of block it, but that's all good. We push him to a special 3. I'm okay here. I know that the invuln is going to soak up the hits here. And what I kind of forget about is the spacing here. I'm going to notice that I'm pushed closer to the wall than I think, and it kind of throws me off for a second. And he throws heavy that I wasn't prepared for, so I end up eating 2 hits, so I don't have any invulnerability left. And thankfully the Neuros have done enough to kind of just close out before it really mattered. So yeah, a little bit scary at the end there, but we were able to get through that clean, well, not cleanly, but with all 3 attack bonuses, which is honestly the most important part. So moving to a No 23 here, Mixed Master, Aggression, Prowess, Power, Focus 1. This is a Mole Man. This is a super straightforward fight with Archangel. We do have a guidance boost from Magneto, House of X, and that's kind of it. There's not much to this. You just parry heavy, and then eventually Mole Man kind of just tips over and gets KO'd. Power Focus 1 means that we don't really have to look at his power meter. His special 1 is super easy to dex, and really you could just block all the hits and kind of continue on with the fight. I am using a combat regen boost just to soak up some of the chip damage. I don't think it's really that important, but we have a bunch of them in the overflow, as you know, with the compensation kind of rolling in weekly. And yeah, so there we go. We have 3 heavies in. He's at 5 neurotoxins. Now he's at 6, and this fight is pretty much over at this point. Kind of keeping an eye on his specials, but really it doesn't matter. This fight's going to be over. And yeah, so that's 6 heavies, and yeah, No 23 is down. So we are going to be moving on to section 2, where I have 2 non-Quake fights left. The first one being an Apocalypse on Node 33, Spite and Rise to Power. So we were able to kind of scout out as at the start of the war that the defender here was running willpower. Thanks to Herm, he was able to confirm that, as that was his first fight in section 1 on path 1. He let me know that willpower was active, so Warlock is a fairly safe option here. I'm going to activate a 200% tech power boost just to get to my special 2 faster, and all I have to worry about is just baiting the first few specials as I try and apply that first infection on, and once that first infection is on, I don't have to worry about him reaching an SP3. But as you can see, the permanent armor buff is just going to perma activate Spite, and so it's really important to try and bait his specials out until you get to the 20 hits to activate that infection. So he's throwing his special 1. I'm not going to try and dex it. There's just no point. This is the only fight I need Warlock for, so I'm fine taking infinite block damage as long as I get the attack bonuses here. So I'm not going to try and dex out early, or I'll just dex out the last hit of the specials, just because it's really hard to mess that part up. But I'm going to be taking a decent amount of chip damage, just blocking, see those hits there. That's totally fine. You can see that we have 3 infections on, and his power bar is just melting. So we don't have to worry about him throwing any more specials, really. It's just a matter of us getting back to our special 2 and then closing out the fight that way. And yeah, defender's running willpower. Super straightforward with Warlock, no worries there. Warlock's just super fun. His animations are super smooth. It's really satisfying to play. And that leaves us with one more fight with Archangel here. This is on Node 48, the boss island. The rage threshold here is 5,068. And I'm pretty comfortable fighting Hitmonkey. I'll bait and dex the SB1 if he gets to it. And I took this fight in the morning as well. And turns out I accidentally overboosted, as you're going to see. Just a reminder, the rage threshold is 5,068. And I really didn't think that Archangel was going to be able to hit that with either of his heavy hits. But take a look, see if you can catch that right there, 5,069. So that triggers rage by 1 attack point, or 1 damage. That's all good. We're able to stick a bunch of neuros. See, we have 5, and it doesn't really matter. He's at 3 furies, whatever. The fight's going to be over before it really matters. A little bit of overkill on the neurotoxins, but fight's over. Thankfully, it didn't lead to any crises and me scrambling against the wall with him being unblockable for the rest of the fight. And that's our war. 7 fights. The Quake fights I wasn't too happy about, especially that Mysterio one. We do end up picking up the loss here. MIBR played lights out, dying 3 times to us, and we ended up dying 10 times, which unfortunately at this level right now, it's not enough to reliably secure the win. So still some room for improvement. Still early on in the season. We're at the first third of the season, so still room to improve. Hopefully we can pick up some momentum next war and kind of just build from there. But yeah, there's my war. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll catch you for war number 5.